Hey everyone, welcome back to the podcast. Today, I have a special guest, Julia, who recently returned from an amazing trip to India. Hi, Julia.
Hi, Jack. Thanks for having me. I'm super excited to share my experiences.
We're thrilled to have you. So, tell us, what inspired your trip to India?
Well, I've always been fascinated by India's rich history, diverse culture, and vibrant colors. I felt it was time to see it all firsthand.
That sounds fantastic. Where did you start your journey?
I started in Delhi. It's a city that perfectly blends the old and the new. I was amazed by the contrast between the historic monuments and the modern city life.
Delhi is indeed a mix of history and modernity. Did you visit the famous landmarks there?
Absolutely. I visited the Red Fort, Humayun's tomb, and the India Gate. The architecture is stunning. I also explored Chandni Chowk. It's a sensory overload with all the people, shops, and street food.
Chandni Chowk is legendary for its hustle and bustle. Speaking of food, how did you find Indian cuisine?
Oh, the food was incredible. I tried everything from butter chicken and biryani to street food like golgappas and chaat. Each dish has such a unique flavor profile.
Indian food is definitely a culinary adventure. After Delhi, where did you head next?
From Delhi, I traveled to Agra to see the Taj Mahal. It's breathtaking. Pictures just don't do it justice. The craftsmanship and the story behind it are mesmerizing.
The Taj Mahal is a wonder. It must have been surreal to see it in person. What was your next stop?
After Agra, I went to Jaipur, part of the Golden Triangle. Jaipur is known as the Pink City because of the color of its buildings. I visited the Amber Fort, City Palace, and Hawa Mahal. The royal history and architecture were fascinating.
Jaipur's palaces and forts are a window into India's regal past. Did you go anywhere else in Rajasthan?
Yes, I did. I also visited Udaipur, known as the City of Lakes. It's incredibly romantic and picturesque. The city palace overlooking Lake Pichola was one of my favorite spots.
Udaipur sounds beautiful. Did you explore any other states?
Yes, I headed south after Rajasthan. I visited Kerala, which is known for its backwaters and lush landscapes. I stayed on a houseboat in Aleppi, and it was such a serene experience. I also explored the tea plantations in Munnar and relaxed on the beaches of Kovalam.
Kerala is often called God's own country, and it sounds like it lives up to that name. What about the cultural aspects? Did you experience any local traditions or festivals?
I was lucky to witness a Kathakali dance performance in Kochi, which was mesmerizing with its elaborate costumes and makeup. I also attended a traditional Kerala Sadhya, which is a vegetarian feast served on a banana leaf.
That must have been quite the experience. Did you get a chance to visit any other major cities?
Yes, I spent some time in Mumbai and Bangalore as well. Mumbai is so dynamic, from the gateway of India to the vibrant street markets and the Bollywood vibe. Bangalore, on the other hand, is a tech hub but also has beautiful gardens and a laid-back atmosphere.
Both cities offer such different experiences. Did you visit any spiritual places in India?
Definitely. I visited Varanasi, which is one of the oldest living cities in the world. The ghats along the Ganges River, the evening aarti, and the overall spiritual ambience were very moving. I also spent time in Rishikesh, known as the yoga capital of the world. The peacefulness of the ashrams and the views of the Himalayas were rejuvenating.
Varanasi and Rishikesh are both high on the list for spiritual travelers. Did you encounter any challenges during your trip?
There were a few, like the language barrier in some rural areas and adjusting to the climate, especially in the hotter regions. But overall, the warmth and hospitality of the people made it easy to navigate through any challenges.
It sounds like you had an enriching and diverse experience. Any final thoughts on your journey?
India is a land of contrasts and surprises. Each state has its own unique identity, culture, and cuisine. The history, spirituality, and sheer diversity are mind-boggling. I feel like I've only scratched the surface and can't wait to go back and explore more.
That's incredible, Julia. Thank you for sharing your journey with us. I'm sure our listeners are inspired to pack their bags and head to India.
Thank you, Jack. It was a pleasure sharing my experiences.
So, Julia, did you get a chance to experience any of the local transportation?
Oh, yes. I tried everything from auto rickshaws and cycle rickshaws to the metro in Delhi. Each mode of transport has its own charm. The trains were an adventure on their own, especially the long-distance ones.
Indian trains are legendary. Did you take any notable train journeys?
I did. One of the most memorable was the train ride from Mumbai to Goa on the Konkan Railway. The views of the Western Ghats and the Arabian Sea were breathtaking. It was like watching a travel documentary in real life.
That sounds amazing. Goa is known for its beaches and laid-back vibe. How was your experience there?
Goa was fantastic. The beaches are beautiful, and the Portuguese influence on the architecture and food is fascinating. I spent my days lounging on the beaches, exploring old churches, and enjoying Goan seafood, especially the prawn curry and vindaloo.
Goa's a great place to unwind. Did you visit any other coastal areas?
Yes, I went to the Andaman and Nicobar Islands. The beaches there are pristine, with crystal clear waters. Ridhanagar Beach on Havelock Island is one of the most beautiful beaches I've ever seen. I also did some scuba diving, which was an incredible experience with the rich marine life.
Wow, that sounds like a slice of paradise. Speaking of different regions, did you get a chance to explore the northern part of India?
Yes, I did. I traveled to Himachal Pradesh and Uttarakhand. In Himachal, I visited Shimla and Manali, both surrounded by stunning mountains. The landscapes are gorgeous, and I even tried some adventure sports like paragliding in Solang Valley.
That sounds thrilling. What about Uttarakhand?
In Uttarakhand, I spent time in Rishikesh, as I mentioned earlier, but I also visited Mussoorie, which is a beautiful hill station. The views of the Himalayas were spectacular, and it was a great place to relax and enjoy nature.
India's natural beauty is so diverse. Did you explore any wildlife or nature reserves?
Yes, I went to Ranthambore National Park in Rajasthan, hoping to see tigers in the wild. It was an exhilarating experience. I didn't spot any tigers, but I saw plenty of other wildlife, like deer, peacocks, and crocodiles. The landscape itself was stunning.
Ranthambore is on many travelers' lists. Did you visit any other national parks?
I also visited Periyar Wildlife Sanctuary in Kerala, which is known for its elephants. I took a boat ride on Periyar Lake, and it was peaceful and beautiful. Seeing elephants in their natural habitat was a highlight.
Elephants are such majestic creatures. Did you notice any cultural differences or similarities across the different regions you visited?
Definitely. Each region has its own distinct culture, language, and traditions, but what stood out was the common thread of hospitality and warmth. Whether in the north, south, east, or west, people were incredibly welcoming and eager to share their culture.
That's heartwarming to hear. Did you bring back any souvenirs or mementos from your trip?
Oh, I did. I brought back some beautiful handicrafts, like Rajasthani puppets, Kashmiri shawls, and intricate jewelry from Jaipur. I also collected spices and teas, which remind me of the flavors of India.
Those sound like wonderful keepsakes. Is there any place in India that you didn't get to visit, but wish you had?
Yes, I really wanted to visit the Northeast. States like Assam, Meghalaya are known for their stunning landscapes and unique cultures. I've heard so much about the beauty of places like Kaziranga National Park and the living root bridges in Meghalaya.
The Northeast is definitely a hidden gem. Maybe that's something for your next trip. Any advice for travelers planning to visit India?
I'd say be open-minded and embrace the diversity. India is vast and varied, so take your time to explore different regions. Also, be prepared for sensory overload in some places, but that's part of the charm. And don't hesitate to interact with locals, they can offer the best insights and make your trip more memorable.
Great advice, Julia. Thank you so much for sharing your incredible journey with us. I'm sure our listeners have enjoyed it as much as I have.
Thank you, Jack. It was a pleasure to recount my adventures. I hope it inspires others to explore India.
And that wraps up today's episode. Thank you all for tuning in. If you enjoyed our conversation, don't forget to subscribe and leave us a review. Until next time, keep exploring and stay curious.